See you tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, and it's looking great too.
Absolutely, anywhere along the coast looking great at the moment. We've got a flashback to summer on our hands here, and it's going to hold for the weekend. The next southerly not likely to come through until the early hours of Monday morning. Details after the break.
Bank scam.
Transform your home into a haven with cool, pure, clean air, creating a world of perfect comfort. Take your home to the next level with the air specialists.
Today there was a really strong temperature inversion. You can still see it right there. All of that haze is trapped underneath that inversion. That's why there's been no clouds. And overnight, all of the moisture particles sinking down into the valley attached themselves to that haze, and that became a layer of fog. And that's why the smog hung around for so long. It wasn't fog, it was actually smog, and then it burnt off. But all of the dust and smoke particles have been left behind in the atmosphere because it is clear and calm and set to remain that way. It is very hot right throughout central Australia, and the heat is flowing our way over the weekend. No frontal activities until the early hours of Monday morning, overnight Sunday into Monday. Looks like it's going to be cool, a little bit of cloud, limited shower activity in the early hours, if anything at all. Looks like it's largely going to be another dry change, but we have a hot weekend on our hands. This is a flashback to summer indeed, and it's widespread right throughout the entire southeast. There's some pretty big numbers there in the forecast. A great chance for areas to dry out throughout southeast Queensland and northeastern New South Wales, and Perth also drying out after a bit of wet weather over the last couple of days. Already getting up there, cracking 30 for most. Mary Ward, now you are missing because a lightning strike took out your weather station, so we're working to get that rebuilt, and once it's back online you will return to the map, but that's why you're not there at the moment. So very hot right throughout tomorrow. The northerly winds, northwesterlies and the nor'easters on the way, likely to have morning smog, fog and haze right throughout the valley again, then burning off, and then temperatures are going to climb low to mid-30s. It is going to be a hot one on the way for the middle of March. Mid-30s on the way right throughout the valley and cooling down to the teens, so some pretty big temperature swings on the way throughout tomorrow. You've got light variable winds, mostly westerlies on the way, and then the nor'easter will kick in along the coastal fringe into the afternoon. Sun to rise 6:51, down at 7:12. High tide working up right throughout the morning and getting there just before 10 a.m. Back to a metre of swell, fairly small throughout tomorrow. It's a hot weekend. There's the change, cloudy and cool as we enter next week, but very little in the way of rain, and it's going to heat back up. It is not done with us yet. Bit of a scorcher on the way for the valley, so it's like the first weekend of March, but here it is. We've got some beautiful conditions for our waterways and our beaches, and it was very nice. Some lovely clean little waves rolling through on the right tide and the right bank. Not too bad. The big tide at the moment, well, that's a big one because that moon is rising as well, and if you see it on the horizon there as it rises, there's just a little partial lunar eclipse, but it is going to move on very, very quickly. But we've got a beautiful moonlit night on the way, and it's going to be followed by an absolutely cracking weekend, so get out and make the most of it. So have a fabulous weekend, shaping up nicely.
Thank you, Gav. That is NBN News, the current affair next, followed by the footy.
Have a great weekend.
Good night.
Bye.